I welcome you all to AgricToday TV. We are at AKOSOMBO, where we visited AKOSOMBO Dam, where the Volta River Authority has spilled a lot of water from the dam, so bad to talk of. We came here with the Chamber of Aquaculture, with the stakeholders, and then other media houses to ascertain the impact and then the effect of the spillage on our farmers. Come with me as we showcase and we get to know the reality from the farmers and what they are going through as the spillage started.
This lease farm, and here we do tilapia and a little of catfish. As you can see, our house down here has been taken by the river. And you know, this thing used to happen almost every year, but I think this year it has really come heavily and it has taken our building down there. This thing happened, I think 2014. It came, that one was also high, but I think this one is a little higher than that one. And as at now, the water level is not going down, it's still coming up. And it has taken most of our ponds that we used to produce fingerlings. So we have about 12 ponds down there where we keep 60,000 to 50,000 fingerlings in it. And because of the increase of the water, we can't keep our fingerlings there again, and it has reduced our cost of production. When it comes like that, since we know it do happens, when it's coming, we move our things. When it goes, then we come back to operation. So that's what we usually do. We don't allow it to come and destroy our things. We move the things before it comes. But when it comes like that, it slows down our production. We moved some of them, but as for the building down there, we can't move it. So always it comes to take it. That's what we do. But aside that one, we move everything up. We are managing. We can't lay the workers out. We still have to work, and they still have to live. So we are managing. Even though it is costing us, but we are managing. And for now, we are doing a little fingerling production here, as you can see at the top here, and we are doing with the grow up, the ones that will sell to the market. So those are the ones we are having now.
Aquaculture Research and Development Center, ADEC, of the CSRI Water Research Institute. This is the only research institution we have for the breeding of fish and its related water resources organisms. Before the floods, we used to have this whole section filled with harpers. The blue things you see were harpers right from this side to the other end. And we had blue stalks in them, which were used in producing the fingerlings, the small ones that are sent to farmers. So during the opening of the dam, the spillways were opened, and then we had excess water coming in. The ponds got flooded by moving from one pond to the other in a gradual process. And so by the time we would realize, this section was also filled and most of the fish were lost. However, those that we could salvage, we removed them upland to higher areas where they could be safe. And so as you could see, yesterday's flooding had caused those harpers to be submerged now, because initially we didn't know they would spill again to that extent. And yesterday they spilled again, and then we had these harpers being, the fish in those harpers being lost. Okay. Total, we had about 20,000 fishes in them. We cannot quantify the number that had been lost to the flood because the water levels are still quite high, and so we can't quantify those that had been lost. But however, a few of them will remain. We're also able to salvage a few to higher grounds or higher ponds, as you saw earlier on. And so a few of them had been salvaged into those harpers we saw earlier on. We used to have over 54 kgs here. 20 of them were filled with fish, tilapia, but now everything is gone. Everything is gone. In the process of salvaging, we're able to salvage about 17 of them, but the 20 that contain fish, all the fish are gone. We're only able to salvage the drums and the frame. So clearly the water used to be about 50 meters away from here. All this place where we have the tree, the mango tree, used to be a resting place. And this is a platform where we have activities ongoing, where we do a lot of research. But this had all been taken over by the floods due to the dam spillage. The dam is right behind us. As you could see, the spillage is still ongoing, and then we have more water coming in. We believe that by now, additional spillways might have been opened because the water is again increasing in terms of the volume, and the velocity is also increasing. And so this is the extent of damage that has been caused by the spillage from the AKOSOMBO Dam on the Aquaculture Research and Development Center. Yeah, for now, we will need some support in terms of fish feed, to be able to feed the remnants of the fish that had been salvaged. A few of them had been salvaged. We also would need support to collect broodstocks, additional broodstock, to start the breeding program all over again. And so we need some financial support as well to get this broodstock from the wild and from other places where we think we would get them, so that we can beef up. We also would need support in terms of a pump, so that when the water recedes and this flood is over, we will be able to pump the water out of these ponds and be able to get some of the fish that may be stuck in the ponds for us to continue the process. We also would need net to do the hauling and then the sailing through of the ponds. So starting with the broodstocks, we had over 14,000 broodstocks at the biosecure area. This was work that had been done for about 20 to 30 years, where we have the AKOSOMBO strain of the tilapia being developed, which is the Orichromys niloticus, was developed from this place. And we have lost most of this fish. Now, in terms of value, this 14,000 broodstocks would amount to over 228,000 Ghana cedis that had been lost when we quantify it based on the various sizes that we had over there prior to the flood taking over. As you could see, the water is not receding any moment from now. You can see the spillway. You can see the water coming in again. So the whole area is flooded, inundated with water. This is a whole pond that contained fish prior to the flooding. All these fish probably had been lost to the floods because we can't see any fish in there again. Behind you are also ponds that had been flooded. And beside you, we had the pumping station, which has also been inundated and washed and destroyed because of the flooding. Before the flooding, we had secured most of our cages because VRA gave some information. And therefore, based on the information, we also prepared. However, when they increased the water levels, when they increased the spillage, we didn't know that the volumes that would come would be as high as this. So prior to Monday, we had almost all our cages being secured. However, when they spilled without informing us, because they seem to have forgotten that a whole national research institution and organization like this, which serve the aquaculture community, is here, and therefore measures and then communication should have been given to ADEC for us to also prepare adequately to forestall any further damage, but this was not done. Therefore, we think VRA and other organizations that may be responsible for the flooding should come to the aid of the Aquaculture Research and Development Center at AKOSOMBO. Even our local farmers will be stopped from getting fingerlings because we produce all the broodstock here. We're even developing, we have generation 11 and generation 12, which is being developed. All this had been lost. Majority of them, let me put it that way, majority of them had been lost to the flood. So fingerling production within the next year would be very, very, very affected. Nigeria, Cameroon, Togo, Benin depends upon this center for broodstocks. And so you can imagine the extent of damage. The extent of damage is not only about Ghana. The extent of damage would affect the entire West African sub-region. and food security issues is at stake, because now we don't know how many cages are still intact on the river. We don't know how many fish are still there for us to get tilapia, which is a delicacy for Christmas. Most of our fish that were between 900, 700 and 1.2 kilos had all been lost. So even our revenue in terms of IGF is also gone. And so I believe other farmers would also be feeling the same fate, because across the river, most farms had lost their cages, and most ponds had also been inundated with water, and therefore we are not certain of the quantum of fish, and this is a food security issue. And so this time it's not just about national security, it's not just about human life. If the humans survive without fish, without food, without good source of protein, then the human being is also threatened in terms of survival.
And I happen to work for the Ghana Aquaculture Association as secretary, and I am here together with the Chamber of Aquaculture, and then we are here touring the communities where aquaculture is going on. And currently we are in Peji. Peji is just lower the AKOSOMBO area, and there's quite a lot of fish farming going here. It's usually in the cluster system, where you have households that have some cages, and also those that have sponsors or investors that sponsor the aquaculture they are doing on behalf of them. So we are here to assess the damage that goes on. These operations support all the livelihoods that goes on here. So the men, as you can see, some of the fish farmers usually take care of these cages, and they do the farming. And then most often their wives are those who take these fishes to the markets and do the sale. So it's kind of like it's a micro value chain that the whole community depends on. And you could see some emergency harvest that was going on. These guys have had to work throughout the night, just getting whatever remaining fishes they could get out of the water and sell before it all goes to waste. It's massive because if you look across the lake, some of those cages, especially the HDP cages, those are mostly not made in country. The materials are imported. The scale is so expensive. A cage can cost about what, $2,500 to $4,000 to build just one circular cage. With the metal cages, the square cages, they don't come cheap. Even with a low quality metal frame, is about what, 350, 400 cedis for just one bar. You need about 8 to 16 of them to build just one cage. A drum costs about 350, 400 cedis, and you need 16 of those for one cage. If you lose your nets, that's even worse, because a bale of net now is about 9,000, 10,000 cedis. So this is just the infrastructure alone to hold your fishes. And if you now count the fishes that is lost, that's a lot. A ton of fish now is about 30,000 cedis. And imagine that a farmer loses 5 or 10 tons of fish. And you can see the community. It's not a community that is rich people. It's just people doing meager aquaculture to sustain their livelihoods. And imagine a farmer losing what, 100,000, 300,000. It's going to take them several years to build back their operation to that level. I can't tell the full number. Even the farmers themselves can't tell you the full numbers, because it happened in a flash. And what you can salvage is what you are going after. But on a normal day, you find in excess of what, 200, 300 kgs here. So that's a lot. This is just what is left. So what is gone is far more. I would say 80–90% is gone.
The first one that happens doesn't flow up to this stage. But this one, it come up much more than the first one. Well, my farm was being condemned, because now even my cages was not here, and because of the damages, the cages was being dropped down to here. The one that goes in the night, we couldn't find them. For that one there, it has gone. All of a sudden, the one we were able to get from the cage even doesn't reach 10,000. So for now, what we are telling our investors is, because there are some people who help us to get money to invest or to put into the production, the tilapia production. So as it comes like this, we don't know how are they going to fall, and we send them the pictures how the thing happens and other things. So we don't know how far it's gonna be because for now there is the pressure. Yeah, we got the information less than 2 days. We got the information for our year. We got the information the following day, and the dam was being opened. Yeah, but as they open it, the pressure doesn't come high through the night, and then everything started higher, and our cages was able to go. Yes, so it takes about 2-3 months because the customers, they come gradually because some goes to the market on Monday, some go Tuesday, some go, and sometimes when you call them, they can't come immediately like that. They will say they are going to another farm. At appropriate time, they will come to you. So it will be in a schedule with you and the customer. So the customer cannot come today instantly like that and come and board the fish. Okay. So that is how it goes. Okay. For now, it will cost us because the reason why I'm saying it will cost is some of the drums and then the mentals have gone. So it's now we will relocate all those, buy all those things before the net. So it will be in a long term, even not this year. They have all become very angry because it's the only business they've done here. When they bought the tilapia from here, they also go in to sell it and then get something for their husbands and then help their children in school. So as it happens like this, that means there is no any job. So since the dam was been opened to now, they don't go anywhere. They all stayed around. Even yesterday, like you people were to be here, like you see the majority standing here.
The ponds are somewhere. Hey, so there are 9 ponds here that you can't see anything. 9.